In the distant future, the Galactic Arena Championship stands as the ultimate test of strength, skill, and survival. Held once every decade, the arena is a spectacle that draws millions of spectators from across the galaxy. Warriors from various alien species, each boasting their unique combat prowess, gather to fight for glory, wealth, and the coveted title of champion. The arena itself is a colossal structure capable of shifting its environment to simulate different planets, terrains, and obstacles, creating an ever-changing battlefield that tests every aspect of a warrior's ability. For most of the galaxy, the Galactic Arena is a chance to showcase the peak of evolutionary combat. The races that compete are strong, smart, and possess abilities that are far beyond anything humanity could offer. The Carthathians, genetically engineered warriors known for their unmatched speed and strength, are the reigning champions. The Thrax, a hulking insectid species, are infamous for their brutal, rage-fueled combat. The Fyari, fiery beings who can control flame, are ruthless and devastating in battle. Even the Zender, stealthy reptilian warriors, can strike without warning, their razor-sharp claws making them deadly adversaries. Each race has evolved for one purpose: to fight. But humanity? Earth is considered a fringe world, a distant and primitive outpost in a galaxy of highly advanced civilizations. The human race, with its relatively young history, lacks the advanced combat techniques, psychic powers, and genetically enhanced traits that have come to define the galaxy's elite. Humanity is often seen as weak, emotionally volatile, and ill-equipped to face the galactic champions. As such, Earth is little more than a curiosity to the other races, and humans are dismissed as a relic of a bygone era, primitive, unworthy of attention, and certainly not capable of holding their own in the galactic arena. Yet, despite this disdain, there is a growing movement within the human race, a movement that refuses to accept the idea that humanity is weak. Jack Carter, a former Special Forces officer, is at the forefront of this change. Jack isn't just an ordinary human. He is a man hardened by the struggles of war, someone who has survived against the odds, someone who has faced the impossible and still emerged standing. While Earth is still viewed as backward, Jack sees an opportunity, a chance to prove humanity's true worth on the galactic stage. His team, made up of military veterans, soldiers, and tacticians, enters the galactic arena not just to survive but to show the universe what humans are capable of. Their decision to enter the tournament is met with scorn and mockery. Alien spectators, who have long seen humanity as a joke, erupt into laughter as they hear about human warriors entering the arena. The idea of Earthlings competing with the galaxy's greatest champions is absurd to them. The Carthathian Empress, whose race has dominated the tournament for centuries, openly dismisses the humans, declaring that they would be eliminated within minutes. The Zender, ever prideful of their stealth and agility, laugh at the notion of humans being able to track them. The Thrax, seeing themselves as the ultimate physical warriors, dismiss humans as too frail to stand a chance. Even the Fyari, with their mastery over fire, see humans as little more than a fleeting annoyance. But despite the laughter and mockery, the human warriors are undeterred. Jack and his team are not there to make friends or earn the favor of the alien races. They are there to prove something. To prove that humanity, for all its perceived weaknesses, has something none of these other races can replicate: resilience. They may not have the enhanced abilities of the other species, but what they lack in strength and advanced powers, they make up for in their ability to adapt, think on their feet, and persevere when all seems lost. The first time the humans step into the arena, the jeers from the crowd are deafening. The arena is designed to overwhelm its contestants, with towering obstacles, shifting landscapes, and traps that make it more than just a physical contest. It's a battle of wits, strategy, and adaptability. The human warriors stand at a disadvantage, unfamiliar with the arena's ever-changing nature, but they have one thing no other species can boast: experience with the unpredictable nature of warfare. Their training has not been in controlled, sterile environments but in the chaotic, brutal reality of real-life combat, where survival depends on quick thinking and adapting to changing circumstances. As the first round begins, Jack's team faces off against an opponent that should, by all logical expectations, wipe the floor with them: a towering Thrax warrior named Jorith. Jorith is a hulking brute, capable of tearing through his enemies with his incredible strength and unbridled rage. His armor is nearly indestructible, and his weapons are designed for maximum destruction. The crowd believes the match will be over in seconds. But Jack surprises everyone. He doesn't charge headfirst into combat like the other fighters do. Instead, he takes a moment to study the arena, watching the shifting environment and analyzing the terrain. Where others might see a series of obstacles and hazards, Jack sees opportunities. Tactical thinking is his greatest weapon. While Jorith charges him with brute force, Jack takes advantage of the arena's shifting gravity and hidden traps. He moves with calculated precision, using the environment to disorient Jorith. Instead of a head-on clash, Jack lures Jorith into a trap, causing the alien to make a fatal mistake. Jack's strike is quick, precise, and devastating. The moment Jorith falls, the crowd falls silent. The impossible has happened. The human has defeated the mighty Thrax warrior. The Carpathian Empress is visibly shocked, and the audience is stunned into disbelief. Jack has done more than survive. He has outsmarted his opponent and proved that humanity can be more than just a primitive species. The reaction from the alien spectators is mixed. Some are stunned, others angry, but all are intrigued. Jack Carter, and by extension, humanity, has shown that they are capable of far more than anyone had anticipated. The match ends, but the battle for humanity's place in the galactic arena is just beginning. Jack has proven, in the face of overwhelming odds, that humans are more than capable of holding their own. But what no one expects is that Jack's victory isn't a fluke, it's just the beginning of a larger, more profound shift. The mockery and dismissal of humanity are far from over, but the galaxy has just learned a valuable lesson: never underestimate humanity. Jack's victory in the first round is just the first step in proving that humans have something the other species don't: a relentless drive to adapt, survive, and conquer against all odds. The arena may belong to the strongest warriors, but humanity has something even more powerful: the will to never back down, no matter how impossible the challenge seems. The second round of the Galactic Arena Championship begins, and the universe is watching closely. Jack Carter, having surprised the galaxy with his victory in the first round, is no longer the underdog. He is now the subject of intense scrutiny. The alien spectators who once mocked humanity now look at Jack with a mix of curiosity, skepticism, and for some, a growing sense of fear. He has proven himself as a force to be reckoned with, and the stakes are higher than ever. The remaining competitors are no longer just brutish warriors. They are beings who have mastered their unique abilities and fought in countless battles. But Jack's greatest strength is his mind, and he intends to use it to win again. In this round, Jack faces an opponent unlike any he has encountered before, a Zender named Vecthar, a warrior from a race of stealthy, reptilian assassins known for their ability to blend into their surroundings and strike without warning. The Zender have razor-sharp claws and an innate ability to remain undetected in even the most hostile environments. They have honed their skills over millennia, relying on stealth, agility, and their predatory instincts to take down their foes. In contrast, Jack is an open target, human, relatively weak in comparison to the other species, and unarmed with the advanced technology many of his competitors use. The crowd buzzes with anticipation, eager to see if Jack's victory in the first round was simply a fluke. The alien races are convinced that this round will be the end of his improbable journey. The Zender are known for their ability to track and eliminate their opponents with deadly precision, and Jack, despite his victory against Jorith, is completely out of his element. The environment of the arena is perfectly suited to the Zender's strengths: dense, shifting terrain that creates numerous hiding spots for the assassin. The odds seem overwhelming. But Jack has already learned from his first battle. Instead of charging headlong into the fray, he stops, takes a breath, and begins to think. Where others would be paralyzed by fear or desperation, Jack remains calm. He knows the Zender's most deadly weapon is their stealth, and he understands that in a fight where he cannot outpace or overpower his opponent, he must outsmart him. His training has not only made him a warrior, it has made him a strategist, someone who can turn any disadvantage into an opportunity. Instead of relying on brute force, Jack adapts. He uses the arena's environment to his advantage, activating sensors built into his combat gear that allow him to detect the infrared signature of his opponent. The Zender might be masters of stealth, but Jack's human ingenuity gives him an edge. He begins to move slowly, carefully, making calculated steps as he scans the terrain. The crowd watches as he seems to walk in circles, confused by his apparent lack of aggression. Meanwhile, Vecthar, confident in his stealth, stalks Jack from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He believes Jack is out of his depth, unaware that the human warrior is keenly aware of his presence. Jack lures Vecthar closer, waiting for the Zender to make the first move. Finally, as Vecthar leaps from his hiding spot, claws bared and fangs glinting in the dim light, Jack is ready. Using the infrared sensors, Jack sees the Zender's heat signature before Vecthar can land the killing blow. He reacts instantly, sidestepping and using the arena's shifting gravity to throw his opponent off balance. As Vecthar stumbles, Jack strikes with precision, disabling the assassin's legs and forcing him into a vulnerable position. But Jack doesn't stop there. He knows that this fight isn't just about taking down an opponent, it's about survival. The Zender might be dangerous, but Jack has something they don't, the ability to think ahead. Rather than simply incapacitating Vecthar, Jack begins to manipulate the environment, creating hazards that will slow the assassin down. He triggers the arena's traps, using the terrain to force the Zender into a series of increasingly difficult positions. The crowd, who had expected Jack to fall, begins to murmur in disbelief as they watch the human warrior outmaneuver his opponent at every turn. Vecthar's claws, once his deadliest weapon, are now useless against Jack's tactical brilliance. As the fight continues, it becomes clear that Jack's real weapon isn't his fists or his physical abilities, it's his mind. He has learned how to outthink his enemies, using the environment and his opponent's weaknesses against them. Vecthar's agility is useless when he cannot rely on stealth or surprise. Every time the Zender thinks he has the upper hand, Jack is already one step ahead. The crowd, initially doubtful, is now captivated. What they had assumed was a lucky win in the first round is beginning to look like a series of calculated victories. The fight reaches its climax when Jack forces Vecthar into a final trap. With a well-placed strike, he sends the Zender crashing into a pit designed to capture and immobilize opponents. Vecthar struggles, his claws digging into the stone as he attempts to free himself, but it's too late. Jack stands over him, breathing heavily, his face calm and focused. He hasn't just defeated the Zender, he's made a statement. Humanity's greatest weapon isn't brute force, it's the ability to adapt and survive. As the arena's buzzer signals the end of the match, the crowd erupts into mixed reactions. Some are stunned into silence, others cheer in awe, but all are forced to confront the truth. Humans are not just weak, primitive beings. Jack Carter, with his intellect, his ability to adapt, and his unrelenting will, has shown the galaxy that humanity has what it takes to compete with the greatest warriors the universe has ever seen. The tournament's tone begins to shift. No longer are humans a joke, they are a force to be reckoned with. The match against Vecthar is more than just a win for Jack, it's a defining moment for humanity. The alien spectators, once dismissive, now look at Jack with a mix of respect and unease. What started as mockery has now turned into recognition. Humans, it seems, have the ability to surprise. And as the tournament progresses, the universe will have no choice but to reckon with humanity's true strength. Jack has proven that intelligence, resilience, and resourcefulness are the qualities that truly make a warrior, qualities that no alien species can ever hope to match in the same measure. As the third round of the Galactic Arena Championship approaches, Jack Carter finds himself facing an opponent unlike any other, the Fyari. The Fyari are a race of fiery beings, capable of manipulating flames to devastating effect. They are known for their brutality in combat, using their pyrokinesis to incinerate enemies and scorch entire battlefields. The crowd buzzes with excitement at the prospect of watching Jack face this nearly invincible opponent. The Fyari are feared across the galaxy, and many believe that their mastery of fire will make them unbeatable, especially in the arena's environment, which can be tailored to any situation. Jack has no illusions about the challenge ahead. He knows that the Fury's flames are a direct counter to his usual strategy. His body armor is designed for physical combat, not for withstanding searing heat or flames capable of turning an entire battlefield into a molten wasteland. This time, brute force or mental agility alone won't be enough. Jack needs a new approach. The odds are stacked against him, and he knows this is a fight where survival, rather than victory, may be the true goal. But Jack is no stranger to impossible odds. He's been in worse situations before and always found a way out. This fight, however, will test him in ways he's never been tested. The Fury warrior he faces is Tauren, a towering figure of flames and molten energy, his body flickering with intense heat. Tauren is dressed in armor that seems to be made from the same fiery essence as his body, the molten glow flickering across his frame as though he were a living inferno. He steps into the arena with a confident stride, flames curling from his body as he roars to the crowd, challenging them to witness his power. The alien spectators, many of whom are still in disbelief that Jack has made it this far, begin to whisper in hushed tones. They wonder if the human can survive the Fury's flames. Jack, on the other hand, doesn't waste time worrying about the fight. He quickly scans the environment. The arena shifts, revealing a scorched battlefield with scattered debris and jagged rocks, perfect for the Fury to manipulate the fire around him. Jack understands that to fight a firebender like Tauren, he must fight smart. He cannot outlast the fire, but he can outthink the flames. As the match begins, Tauren immediately unleashes a wave of fire, sending a torrent of flames toward Jack. The heat is unbearable, and Jack's immediate instinct is to shield himself, but he knows that this won't be a battle of shields or heavy armor. He must find a way to turn Tauren's strength into a weakness. He starts by using his surroundings, creating distance by sprinting toward a series of large, jagged rocks that line the arena. The Fury's fire may be all-consuming, but it has limitations. As Tauren sends another burst of flame toward Jack, Jack dives behind a boulder just in time. The fire crashes against the rock, sending plumes of ash and smoke into the air, but Jack is unharmed. This brief moment of respite allows Jack to observe Tauren more closely. He watches as the Fury manipulates the flames, guiding them like an extension of his own body. Tauren's attacks are powerful, but there is a rhythm to the fire. There are patterns in the way he generates it. Jack's mind begins to calculate, the strategist inside him already formulating a plan. The fire may be relentless, but Tauren is still vulnerable when he's concentrating on maintaining control over the flames. Jack must disrupt that focus. Jack waits for Tauren to unleash another barrage of fire, this time aiming directly at the rocks where Jack is hiding. Instead of running or trying to fight back head-on, Jack begins to move swiftly, using the terrain to outmaneuver Tauren's blasts. Tauren is quick to adjust, redirecting the flames with increasing ferocity, but Jack continues to evade. He's not just running away, he's leading Tauren into a trap. Jack knows the Fury rely on their ability to continuously fuel the flames, but this consumes energy. The more Tauren fires, the more he will drain himself, making him slower and less precise. Jack waits until the Fury warrior is mid-attack, launching an enormous wave of fire toward Jack's hiding spot. Just as Tauren expends his energy, Jack moves in a flash, darting from the rocks to the center of the arena, where a series of metal pipes lay scattered across the floor. Jack's hand quickly grabs a nearby pipe, and with a grunt, he begins to twist it free from the rubble. Tauren, realizing Jack's movement, focuses his attention entirely on him, preparing to unleash the next wave of fire. But Jack doesn't give him the chance. Using his makeshift weapon, Jack forces the pipe into a deep fissure in the ground, creating an obstruction. Tauren's fire connects with the metal pipes, causing them to heat up and explode with a sudden burst of force. The explosion disrupts Tauren's control over his flames, sending him stumbling backward. Jack seizes the opportunity. He rushes forward, using the debris to shield himself from any residual flame. He's quick, precise, and ruthless. In a single move, Jack disables Tauren's flame-based attacks by severing the controls embedded within the Fury's armor. The flames flicker out as the suit's internal systems overload, and Torin, now defenseless, collapses onto the ground in a heap of molten armor. Jack stands over his fallen opponent, breathing heavily but victorious. Torin's fire may have been powerful, but Jack's adaptability and resourcefulness have won the day. The crowd, once skeptical, erupts into a stunned silence. Some aliens look at Jack with newfound respect, while others stare at him with disbelief. How could a mere human, one with no special powers, have overcome the Fjari's strength? The answer is simple: Jack doesn't rely on raw power. He relies on strategy, ingenuity, and the ability to adapt. As Torin is dragged from the arena, Jack looks out over the vast expanse of alien spectators. The first few rounds were just the beginning. Each victory, each battle, has only made Jack stronger, more confident. The whispers that began as mockery have turned into murmurs of respect. Humanity is no longer the joke of the galaxy. It is a force to be reckoned with. And Jack, against all odds, continues to prove that humanity's greatest weapon is not in their fists, but in their ability to think, to adapt, and to survive. Jack's eyes narrow as he steps forward. There is one more fight to win. As Jack approaches the final round of the Galactic Arena Championship, the stakes have never been higher. The crowd, once dismissive and scornful of humanity, now watches in stunned silence as the human warrior advances through each brutal round. Jack's victories have forced the galaxy to rethink everything they thought they knew about Earth and its people. Yet, despite the praise and whispers of respect that have followed him, Jack knows that his real challenge lies ahead. His final opponent isn't just any fighter. He's the reigning champion of the Galactic Arena, Dominus, a genetically engineered terror from the ancient Carthathian Empire. Dominus is not merely a skilled warrior. He is a living weapon, created for one purpose: to dominate the arena. His species, the Carthathians, are known for their brutal efficiency and their merciless approach to combat. The Dominus has never been defeated, and many believe he never will be. His speed, strength, and ruthlessness are unmatched, and he has single-handedly crushed every opponent in his path. For Jack, this isn't just another fight, it's a test of everything he's learned and everything he believes in. As the match begins, the entire arena seems to hold its breath. The first thing Jack notices is the sheer size of Dominus. Standing nearly 8 feet tall and covered in a shimmering exoskeleton that reflects the harsh lights of the arena, Dominus looks like a force of nature. His movements are fluid, calculated, and menacing, every step sending ripples of dread through the crowd. The Carthathian's reputation precedes him. Even Jack, who has faced deadly foes before, feels the weight of the moment. This is the one opponent he cannot afford to underestimate. The fight starts with a sudden burst of energy. Dominus charges at Jack with the speed of a predator, his massive fists crashing toward Jack's head. Jack barely dodges, feeling the shockwave as Dominus' fist smashes into the ground where he was just standing. The force is enough to send rocks and debris flying into the air. For a moment, Jack wonders if he can really survive this. Dominus is faster, stronger, and seemingly unstoppable. But Jack knows that he has one thing that no genetically engineered beast like Dominus has. Adaptability. As Dominus continues his relentless assault, Jack's mind races. Every punch, every kick, is a calculated strike designed to crush him, but Jack isn't just dodging, he's analyzing. He sees the pattern in Dominus' attacks, the subtle shifts in his movements. He knows that the Dominus relies on brute strength to win, never needing to outthink his opponents because his power has always been enough. But Jack isn't like the others. He doesn't need raw strength to win. He needs to outthink the monster in front of him. Jack maneuvers around Dominus, using the arena's shifting terrain to his advantage. The ground is littered with obstacles, traps, and hazardous elements. Jack leaps over pits, ducking beneath falling rocks and using the environment to break Dominus' focus. The Carthathian's rage grows with each missed strike, but Jack remains calm, his mind working faster than ever. He's not fighting Dominus with sheer force. He's using his surroundings, his quick thinking, and his endurance to wear down the giant warrior. At one point, Dominus charges at Jack with such speed that the force of his body slams into a section of the arena, cracking the ground beneath them. Jack narrowly avoids the strike, but as he rolls away, he spots something. The arena's internal mechanisms have been triggered. A massive, retractable wall is now closing in, separating the two combatants. Jack's mind begins to race. The wall is part of the arena's shifting environmental features, designed to trap and isolate fighters at critical moments. Dominus, however, sees only the opportunity to corner Jack. His massive fists slam into the wall, attempting to break through, but it's no use. The wall is too strong for him to smash through with brute force. This is Jack's moment. He spots a ventilation shaft near the ceiling, one that's barely visible among the shifting rock walls. Without a second thought, Jack grabs a loose piece of debris, hurls it at the ventilation system, and uses the distraction to dart behind Dominus. The Carpathian, who has been trained to fight opponents in one-on-one combat, doesn't react quickly enough. Jack takes a deep breath and leaps toward the ventilation shaft, using it as a makeshift escape route. Dominus, finally realizing that Jack isn't fighting him directly, charges forward with even greater intensity. But it's too late. Jack has already positioned himself behind a series of support beams, where Dominus' size becomes a disadvantage. The Carpathian's massive body is too slow to navigate the tight space between the pillars, giving Jack the chance to strike. Jack isn't looking for a simple victory. He knows that defeating Dominus will require him to break the Carpathian's spirit as well as his body. He waits for the perfect moment, then uses the environment to create an ingenious trap. He activates a concealed lever within the arena, causing a section of the floor to collapse beneath Dominus' feet, sending him crashing into a pit. The Carpathian struggles, his rage growing as he fights against the pit's shifting terrain, but Jack doesn't wait. He activates the next trap, sending a torrent of sharp spikes toward the Carpathian from above. The spikes, though not fatal, send a powerful shockwave of pain through Dominus' body, weakening him further. For the first time in the match, Dominus looks stunned. His arrogance, his belief that his power could carry him to victory, has been shattered. Jack's victory isn't just a matter of overcoming strength, it's about forcing his opponent to confront a new reality. The human mind is not something to be taken lightly. As Dominus begins to falter, Jack makes his move. With a final, calculated strike, he forces Dominus to the ground, immobilizing him for good. The arena is silent. For a moment, it feels as if the entire galaxy is holding its breath. Then, as the realization hits, the crowd erupts into a mix of astonished applause and hushed murmurs. Jack Carter, a human, has done the impossible. He has defeated the undefeatable champion. He has beaten Dominus, not with brute strength, but with intelligence, determination, and the unyielding will that defines humanity. The Galactic Arena's rulers, fearing the implications of Jack's victory, approach him with offers of wealth, power, and a place among their elite ranks. But Jack refuses. He has already proven his point. Earth is no longer the laughingstock of the galaxy. Humanity, though small and seemingly insignificant, has shown the universe that it is not to be underestimated. Jack Carter, the human warrior, leaves the arena as a legend, his name forever etched into galactic history. And as he returns to Earth, he knows that humanity's true strength isn't just in its warriors, it's in its capacity to overcome the impossible.